Today's Teen Central is going to focus on telling your story, collecting in quarantine with Maryland Center for History and Culture. Hello and welcome to Teen Central. This is Carrie. I work at the Mount Airy Branch of Carroll County Public Library, and I'm so glad that you could all join me today. So just like always, we're going to be focusing on some things that might be of interest to you as teenagers. And today I wanted to share this really cool project that's going on that I just found out about. And I think it is a really great opportunity, and I think some of you are going to be really interested in possibly participating in this. So earlier this year, in March of 2020, the Maryland Center for History and Culture, they used to go by the name of the Maryland Historic Society, and they're a really, really great resource here in Maryland for everything having to do with Maryland and its people. So they started this new crowdsourced initiative called Collecting in Quarantine. And basically, they are collecting stories from Marylanders of all ages about their experiences during this pandemic. So some of the stories might seem really dramatic. Some of them might deal with personal loss or a personal illness, but most of them really just talk about the day-to-day lives of these people. So it might be something as simple as, how has this pandemic affected you? Maybe you are doing online classes and not able to go to in-person school right now. It might be a story about adjusting to wearing a mask when you're going in public places or not being able to go some places. Or it might just be a story about whatever's going on with you, almost like a personal diary entry. So it's a really interesting thing that they're doing. And I wanted to present this project to you directly because I know that your voices and perspectives are so important and they're so unique. And I don't have to tell you this, but oftentimes the voices of teenagers are overlooked. And I really want to give you this opportunity to participate so that they have a really well-rounded collection of personal accounts during this pandemic of Marylanders. So you can submit pictures, you can submit words, it can be interview style or just a personal, like I said, a diary entry, basically, something that you're writing. I think there's been some poetry about life experiences, and it's just really cool. So I'm going to show you the website, and I'll put the website information up at the end so you don't have to rush to write it down because it's kind of long. And it's just something cool that I really wanted to share with you. All right. So here we are at the Maryland Center for History and Culture, their homepage. So the website is mdhistory.org. So you'll see they have just a ton of really fantastic resources on their page, and I encourage you to check those out sometime. They have a lot of online resources where you can go through their digital collections. You can see their archived programs that they've had in the past. I did find it a little bit more difficult to locate directly from the homepage their collecting in quarantine information. So I just go to the search up here, and you can do the same. And if you type in collecting in quarantine, it will bring up more information. So there is the initial launch initiative up here. And then down here under collecting in quarantine, if you go to this article, it will give you an example of one of their submissions. This was a photograph that was submitted. And then there's a little bit more information. So the idea for collecting in quarantine, it's also being titled Letters from the Home Front. It's been inspired by some of the letters that they have in the Maryland Center's collection that document past adversities. So things like the Spanish flu of 1918, the Annapolis yellow fever epidemics of 1793 and 1800. So it's a really fascinating look at the personal lives of people going through these adversities. So the Maryland Center is really calling on all Marylanders to share their stories of how their lives are being impacted during this pandemic. So, and especially, like I said, for you teens, it would be really fantastic for them to have your perspective as well, because it is so unique and so important. So, if you are interested in submitting either a photograph or a letter, poetry, anything of that type, they have the email address right here, letters from the home front at mdhistory.org. So you can send them an email directly, or they do have this form here where you can submit photos and your stories. And I'll just briefly show you that form. So Collecting in Quarantine, the Maryland Center for History and Culture, has a little bit more information, and they collect all the information that they do need from you. They do ask if you're over the age of 18. You are more than welcome to have your submissions on here if you're under 18, but they do just need to confirm and get permission from a parent or guardian if you are under 18. So that's the only additional thing that you need to do as a teenager. But you can attach your files there, add more information. They additionally have some information on their webpage about the information that you're submitting. So again, if you're under 18, they just need to get permission from a parent or guardian. You do only want to submit your own original content, so these should be your personal words, not taken from anywhere else or anywhere else. So photographs should be photos that you have taken, and the written content should be your own original content as well. And because during the pandemic there might be some sensitive medical information, you don't want to share anyone else's names or medical information inadvertently, no matter how well-meaning, with your submission, because you would need to get their permission as well. And then one additional thing that is really exciting, they are partnering with the Baltimore Sun, and they are sharing some of the materials that they're collecting through this project with the Baltimore Sun. So by contributing your information, you're basically giving the Maryland Center permission to collect this information for you and possibly showcase it in their website and their blog, as well as that of the Baltimore Sun. So just a few things to think about, but you can always get more information back at the Maryland Center's page. You can scroll down to get some more information that we just covered here if you're thinking about contributing. And if you do submit an email instead of that form, they will just get back to you and ask you about your age and whether that your parent or guardian gives permission as well. And then they do have this Underbelly blog where some of the material will be going, and you can always go there to look at examples of what other people have already submitted. So they're really, really fascinating. So here is a closer look at the ways you can submit your story to the Maryland Center. And some of these submissions to Collecting in Quarantine will become a part of the Maryland Center's future collections. So what's really cool is that 100 years from now, present-day essays and photographs will give future Marylanders a really great historical perspective. And just like we're looking back on some of the collected letters from other adversities that Marylanders have faced in the past, those future Marylanders can look back on our experiences now to gain knowledge and perspective as well. Thank you again for joining me for this month's Teen Central program. I really do hope that you check out the Maryland Center's project and maybe start to document your own stories. I think that your stories are going to be a really great addition to the project, and maybe also a really great way to help you cope and express yourselves during this pandemic. And it's a great opportunity, like I said earlier, for you as a teenager, for your voice to be heard and possibly carried on into the future as well. So enjoy your day. I hope you're all staying well, and I hope that I get to see each of you in person sometime soon. If you have any questions, feel free to comment here or contact your local library branch. And I look forward to joining you next month for Teen Central as well.